it's me, Renee. I'm back. So today I'm here for a little goal check-in. So it's July, soon August, later this week. And I suppose, yes, I already did a mid-year freakout tag. And that, I suppose, in a way, summarized my reading year so far. But I want to do another video, this video, where I talk about my own goals and how I've reached them so far, or haven't. So I'm just gonna find my notes. And okay, so I at the beginning of the year, I think maybe it was like in December, so like beginning of the year, end of last year, I made a video on 20 books I want to read in 2020. Yes, that cheesy video there. I'll like it in doodle. So yeah, I checked out. So I just like went over it and just looked over how much have I read from the list. Yeah, how much is probably wrong. It's better to say how little because I only read 7 so far. Yeah, TBRs. Hey, you make them and then you just forget about them, don't you? Like the year, it's still let's say young. You can't really say a year's young. The year's not over yet, so I have time. And yeah, and just in case you're curious, like which books did I read or start and DNF? It's Pirate Princess, which is a comic. I read Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. I read The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. I remember her name. Sorry. I read The Royal We. You know, The Royal We over here, this one. Uh, and then I read The Gilded Walls, which is in another room right now. But yeah, I read Brightly Burning. You know, this one, the Jane Eyre retelling, set in space. I read and Dangerous Alliances. Dangerous Alliances is also in the other room now, so that's why I can read through it at the moment. So 7 out of 20. I suppose it's not too bad. It's not far from half. And yeah, I just as I said, I did check out the video. And most of the books I still want to read. So yeah, I'll try to get the rest of them in the coming months. Then I have authors I want to read. I also made a video on this one. I'll link all the prudent videos in doobly, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I'm gonna do it. Um. So yeah, I haven't really gotten to any of the videos offers from that video yet. I've planned to, and then I just haven't. So yeah, there's that. But that video, I noticed while rewatching it that I said like this offers I want to get to. If I don't get to them, I won't be too sad. And I suppose it kind of is as that for like all those TBRs because like yeah, sometimes I make TBRs because like I think yeah, like it will be fun to read that soon or write that soon. But I'm a mood reader, so when that month comes or that readathon comes and I'm not in the mood for that in that book, I'll read something else. I mean, forcing yourself to read something just because it's on your TBR, that just because you put it on TBR weeks ago or days ago, that's just bad because then you just end up in a slump. I mean, forcing yourself to read stuff is just bad. Yes, reading stuff that's out of your comfort zone, that's good. But forcing yourself to read stuff solely because of you think you should read it, I mean, I think you always should like have a certain interest in reading it. You can't read it just because it's hyped or just because it's supposed to be amazing. You should read it because it's about something that interests you. And yeah, so yeah, from the authors from the video, I'm not sure like if I'll get to any of them. Well, I suppose I'm not sure if I get to most of them, but I do want to get to Root Recipities and Tamara Pierce. Both of those are in that video, and both of those are authors I'm really curious about, like genuinely curious about. So yeah, like the others, I kind of want to read, but that's not like I have to read them. Like it's not urgent. But those two, yeah, those two I kind of want to read before the end of the year. So hopefully that happens. Probably, probably not. Might happen. Yeah. And then there's a lot of series that I had a goal to finish more series. And I finished one series. It's not that bad really. I finished the Crazy Rich Asian series. There was just one book I hadn't read, but still. I finished the Pivot Point duology by Casey West. Second book wasn't that good really. Kind of tainted my opinion of the first book, so that was kind of sad. But there you have it. I finished the Magic Most Foul series by Haber, Leanne and Haber. I'll link it in the below anyway. Honestly, for that one, I ended up doing a reread of second book and then reading the third book. But that one felt like the whole thingy thingamabob. I felt like the whole series would really fit better as the standalone. I felt like book 2 and 3 were fine, but like book 2 was like it was interesting and it got some new perspectives and stuff. Book 3, I felt like was more or less pointless. So yeah, that's kind of sad. So that's my view of that. Yeah. And then Dark Mirror, I read the last book. Well, actually, I reread the second book here. I remember reading the beginning of the second book, and then I don't, because I remember like the first book, second book, and I remember all of it. So I think I might start it and then just kind of forget about it. Not sure. But yeah, I read the second book and the third book. Here, I really enjoy the whole series. For the whole series was amazing, all in all. I felt like it had some issues with it here and there, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I finished. That's 4 series for you. So I have not finished uh, this series. I plan to read it in January. Plan to read it during the spring. Didn't happen. I still want to finish it. So I have not finished. Haven't either finished the Erosion Project. Planning to read it all year. Haven't yet. Still want to read it. It's one book, so I probably will. Just getting to it sometime. And yeah, I also plan to read the Danish book Nina. I have the third book. I have read the first book. I haven't read the second book, so I want to get the second book. Kind of obviously to like read the whole trilogy in order. And I haven't gotten the second book yet, so yeah, that's. I suppose that might. I think that's kind of a back burner, like that will happen when it happens. If I find the second book, I'll be overjoyed. If not, it's fine. So yeah, also I haven't finished uh not legends, but the is Ellen O. Yeah, the King by Ellen O. She's written a trilogy, the King, the Prophecy, the King, and something else. Read the first book years ago, loved it. Haven't really gotten around to reading the rest series. I really do. I'm thinking I've been checking out Sansa's like if it's available to order, and I think I haven't seen it. But yeah, I can double check soon. And yeah, so yeah, I have some series that I haven't finished yet. I do want to finish. Uh, and yeah, so it's a mix of books that I have, books that I have an audiobook, that I have physical, books I just want to read but haven't read, that I don't own in any way. And yeah, also, for some reason I didn't write that down there. That's stupid, but I do remember that I've also had like a goal to read a LGBTQIA plus book every month. I've done that most months. I think in May I end up doing it slightly like I suppose it's my own goal, so I suppose I can like make the rules of myself. But I do like want to try to read one where the protagonist is LGBTQIA plus. And in May I end up reading one where it's an important side character but not a protagonist. So in that way it was kind of cheating, kind of not following through. But in the rest of the month, in the rest of the year, I've done it. At least I read one. So, and also I did only LGBTQIA plus in June. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really be perfect every month, can you? I suppose you can. I can't. And well, you win some, you lose some. I'm happy with that. Really happy with how it's been going. So yeah, that goal's been done good. I would say it's not that bad. And now on to new goals that I want to complete. That I want to that yeah, new goals I have for the rest of the year because I have some new goals. Specifically, I want to read more books by Black authors. I've been more focused on that since May, um, since George. Oh my God, sorry. For some reason, I'm blanked on George Floyd's last name. It is George Floyd, but yeah, since George Floyd's murder in May, since Breonna Taylor's murder in May, and there's been other murders as well in that time. It's just been horrendous, and of course, that's made me much more aware of the Black Lives Matter movements and how important it is to read those narratives. I have read some earlier, but now been much more focused to focus in on those books. So now I plan to, for rest of month, rest of the year, I plan to read. Uh, you know what? I'm going to do two black books by black authors every month, as well as one LGBTQ plus. So have focus on having a numbers and do every month, so it's easier to achieve instead of just saying I'm going to read. It's like putting a number on it. So I'm going to do that. I also want to read more trans stories. As I said, I've read LGBTQIA plus stories until now. A few of them have been gay. Some of them have been bisexual narratives, and some have been lesbian. I've read one where there was trans issue, but it wasn't a protagonist. And yeah, I kind of want to read more stories where the trans person is protagonist because, well, I read some before, but I want to read more. I feel like that's kind of, at least for me anyway, I suppose for me anyway, it's something that's kind of generally accepted really, that by reading you learn stuff, you get empathy, you get sympathy, you understand more by reading because you're in the mind of the times and stuff. And I feel like the books that I've read so far that are set around the trans protagonist, I felt like I've understood and I've learned more about that experience in general, but I still haven't I still have some questions in regards to that. So kind of feel like to educate myself more, I want to read more. And also, kind of, I suppose, fitting in that way, I found some memoirs that are by trans people. Uh, so I'll, on audiobook. So I think probably gonna do some of those because, yeah, of course, fiction is a good way to learn, but also nonfiction is also a great way to learn. It's not only by nonfiction you get no by fiction you get learning and understanding, but also nonfiction gives you a great input and a great understanding really. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, I suppose other than that, I just want to read more of the books that that's not new goal. Other than that, I want to read all the books from the 2020 video. Other than that, yeah, don't really have that much more plans for the rest of the year, except just reading in general, getting down my TBR, and yeah. So this has been a little update, a little fun video for you to update, for you to be updated on my reading year so far, on my goals, on my future goals, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye.